Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Rashmita, and I am the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. This session will run over the next 60 minutes, including Q&A. But before we begin, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, be kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. So please feel free to drop all your questions in the chat section. I would now like to welcome Rajendra, our speaker for today's session. Rajendra is currently working as a BI lead specialist within the engineering and tech lead team at Bosch. But for now, I will hand over to Rajendra to begin the session. Let me bring him into the stream. There you go. Over to you, Rajendra.
Yeah, hi Rashmita. Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Rajendra, and your presentation is up.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining this Microsoft Reactor session on a topic creating a Microsoft Fabric end-to-end project solutions. Thanks Rashmita for introducing. I'll just try to give brief about myself as well. I'm Rajendra, BA lead engineer at Bash Group, and I'm a super user at the Fabric community Microsoft, and 4 times Microsoft certified trainer and continuing, and 13 plus years of industry experience working with all the like Microsoft tech stack, working with started with SSIS, and I moved slowly onto the Power BI and so on, currently Microsoft Fabric. I'm a Power BI trainer as well as a mentor internally working in the organization as well as outside. And if you want to reach out, on the right hand side you can see my social networking links, my email ID, and you can reach out to me on the LinkedIn and also the Twitter and the blog. So I started writing the blogs from last 1.5 year on the recent functionalities and reviews on this Microsoft tech stack related to the Fabric and so on. So it's interesting. You can also reach out the blog site, so you can see we can get some knowledge as well as how we are going to process these activities and so on in a simple manner. Fine. Moving on to the today's agenda, I'm going to discuss brief about Microsoft Fabric. So current trending topic it is. And also I'm going to showcase you how we are going to create lake houses in Microsoft Fabric and getting the data into the lake houses, various tools. So Microsoft Fabric has been incorporated and has been added different tools, different personas as per the usage part. I'm going to load the data sources from various tools, which has been supported from Microsoft Fabric. And from there, I'm going to showcase you the navigating process for Lakehouse Explorer and SQL analytics endpoint. Maybe I want to do some querying the data, or else maybe I want to restrict with some columns. How we are going to use this SQL endpoint mechanism in Lakehouse. And finally, I'm going to move on to the reporting part also, like data modeling. So as per the data extractions from the Lakehouse, I'm going to build a data modeling and start providing some kind of a visualizations as well, if time permits, building the report on Power BI report. Anyway, it's also in the cloud part. So as discussed, how we are going to get the data into the Lakehouse, I'm going to showcase you the manner by using the 4 different approaches. You can see it, but in real time, as per if you want to build some Microsoft, like any of the project, we can try to get some data sources from any of 1 or 2 data source systems only. But here, the functionalities part, I want to showcase you the 4 different ways of extraction of the data into your Lakehouse. The first one is shortcut. So shortcut to a warehouse. So my data is resides in a warehouse, existing warehouse. How I'm going to extract the data from in shortcut? So that is a fact table. I'm going to extract it. And another source system, I'm going to use it. Another tool, data pipeline, which we will call it as an Azure Data Factory. So from there, I'm going to extract the order table. So for this complete activity to bring the data into the Lakehouse, I'm going to use like open source tables that is from Microsoft. Worldwide importers is the source file source system. I'm going to use it. From there, data factory pipeline, orders table, sales order table, I'm going to extract it. And another tool, that is the data flow Gen 2. 3 of the dimension tables, I'm going to pick it up and extract it from an Excel source system. And 3 regular updates, which we will try to call it and extract the data in from the Lakehouse using CSV file. So dimension tables, 3 dimension tables from CSV, 3 dimension tables from Excel, and 1 from sales order via data factory pipeline and one from existing warehouse, instead of redo or else instead of repeating the same extraction from other source system, I'm going to utilize the existing file only, which is going to available in my one of the warehouse. So this complete setup, extractions and all, I'm going to showcase to you, and how we are going to extract the tables and what are the ways to build the data model like a semantic model. And finally, I will walk you through then the Power BI reporting part. So I'm just trying to showcase to you a quick visualization also and the Power BI part if time permits. And before moving on to the topic, I'll just try to give a brief about what is Microsoft Fabric. So first of all, Microsoft Fabric, this tool has been launched last year 2023 during the Microsoft build with the complete functionalities. All the tools and applications will be get into one single umbrella instead of identifying or else going forward for the different sources and different extractions, data integrations. We can use it for area pipelines and data lakes to store our data, and as Spark engines, maybe if my code is having a machine learning models, I can make use of it. And even the data warehouse concepts, which we will call it previously as a Synapse data warehouse, has been integrated into the Microsoft Fabric now. And even maybe if my team is playing with real-time intelligence, real-time analytics, I can start utilizing this, IoT related live data streaming source systems by using real-time intelligence too. Likewise, data science, if there is any team which is going to work on the data science related functionalities and capabilities, we can make use of data science related activities too. So business intelligence is already a part of Microsoft Fabric, which we already aware of the Power BI services. So we can start utilizing the business intelligence to share our data insights to the customer. And governance, data governance is also recently added, which is for reusing the existing resources and the assets for the other big projects and so on. So maybe I can try to reuse the existing, which we will call it as a Microsoft purview. So complete analytics we can try to work it on, which we will try to work it on the Microsoft Fabric, and these are all will be stored in an one single umbrella. So we can get it started. We can utilize these resources. We can play around it, and we can do with some sample data also they're providing to work it on the day-to-day. A trial and error basis whether it is going to work or not. We can take some quick decisions accordingly. And how we are going to get it enabled. So if you're observing, first we need to have in Fabric licenses, F64 license, or maybe I want to try with some free trials. So Microsoft is providing the free trial account with 60 days trial accounts too. So we have to get it enabled from the admin portal. So once we can enable this from the admin portal from the tenant settings, we can start using all the functionalities and capabilities that are supported from the Microsoft Fabric, which I have showcased to you in my previous slide, the different tools and personas. So anyway, I'm going to showcase to you while doing the demo part. So once it is get enabled, right, we can see all the personas which has been listed and supported by your Microsoft Fabric. Fine. So here, whenever Lakehouse is something to store our structured or unstructured source system, that is we will call it as an managed files or unmanaged files. Maybe my data is something unstructured or semi-structured. I want to store that information in the form of a metadata, and which is coming from either it is a files or folder, or maybe my table is in the form of structured information too. So all these tables will be get stored in a lakehouse, and even we can try to pull that information from other lake houses to existing lake houses as well for our activities or else for our data modeling functionalities. So in Lakehouse, there is an inbuilt functionality that is SQL endpoint analytics. So we can also configure, you can see on the right hand side down corner, I have provided some image. So by default, once you can create a Lakehouse Explorer, we can see a Lakehouse Explorer with all the tables and files. And from there, maybe after extracting the data, I want to write, or else I want to write with the transaction SQL statements or else optimizations part. I can also configure with SQL Analytics endpoint too. So which will be write the queries, and then we can only write the queries here. We cannot create the tables or else we cannot perform any other DML operations here. whenever you can make use of SQL analytics endpoint. You can just read only, and we can select the statement. We can also minimize the number of columns, and when we can try to provide further analysis on the top of it. So these configurations, it will be get available once the Lakehouse Explorer has been get created. See here how we are going to inject the data into the Lakehouse. As I said, there are different ways to extract the data. First, we need to pull some information. Either it is as a showcase to you, I can upload some files locally from my laptop or else some shared drive into the Lakehouse. Or maybe I want to do some transformations online, which we will call it as a data flow gen 2. I can extract the data by connecting to some dedicated servers. How can I pull it and do the data transformations inside of it by using the data flows online Power Query editor. And even the notebooks, I want to make use of the notebook functionality like a coding part, and I can inject the data and do the data transformation and load it via tables or files into the Lakehouse. And even almost as similar as ADF functionality, data factory pipelines, we can copy it and we can do the further processing on the injection part, and we can showcase the result or else the files that will be redirect and stored onto the back to the lake house. I mean, like writing the data back to your lake houses too. So one very important functionality, powerful functionality, that is shortcut. So shortcut, maybe if my data source is resides in some different source systems, example Google Cloud environments or Amazon Web Services by using some storage buckets. Or maybe I want to get extract my data from existing Azure pipelines or else lake houses. In such a scenario, instead of duplicating the same information, the existing data we can try to copy it and load it into your as per your further analysis or else further development of your projects too. So I'm going to showcase to you from one of the extraction which is going to available the file fact table is on shortcut. I'm going to extract the data from existing data from a shortcut and load it into my Lakehouse Explorer instead of duplicating the information and extracting that particular table information into my existing functionalities. See here a quick architecture if you're observing my another slide, working with data lakes and external tools. So it will be get supported with shortcut enabled if you want to get it extract the data from the Lakehouse's part. And even as I mentioned, structured data we can extract it, semi or unstructured data we can call it, we can extract it via files folder extractions too. So which is already available in the Lakehouse's part. We can extract the unstructured or semi-structured information via file source systems as well. So we can inject the information via pipelines. Maybe if you want to make use of the data pipelines, we can use it. Or the structured information, I want to perform some data cleansing further, I can extract the data from the data flow gen 2 as well. So all this information after data ingestion, it will be get stored in the where lake house. From that lake house, as per our further analysis and further requirements, you can perform some transformations on the top of it via notebooks. Or if you want to, if your data is very clear and it is well organized, you can start pulling that information via Power BI applications too. You can see the data which is in the form of DirectLake. So DirectLake is simple word. It's a completely real-time data and this is faster whenever if you want to do some refreshes or else if you want to see the real-time numbers. So directly is something like faster analysis as well as real-time data. It will be get observed in a direct lake. So we know import method and direct query method, but direct lake is something we are pulling that information in the real-time manner from the lake house, and also we can see the real-time stats or else the numbers on your reporting part. So this is a complete architecture which you are currently observing on my right hand. So say how we are going to extract it, inject the data in the lake house, and from there how we are going to pull that information into the Power BI application for further analysis or doing the visualizations. Let me walk you through the demo how we are going to work it on. Let me showcase you. Let me create a quick workspace. And as I said, before moving on to this, we need to have a proper license. So as of now, I'm currently enabled the Fabric trial account, Fabric license for 60 days. Let me create a new workspace for this project pipeline. I'm using trial account, trial license for Fabric. You can see here project pipeline with Fabric content, which is going to store. And this is my Fabric environment trial account workspace. Fine. How we are going to create a lake house then? So after enable Fabric trial account, you can see here Fabric workspace content has been stored under your Fabric content. So once the workspace has been get created, you can see here new items, lake house. Just try to type the lake house here, give some name, LH or so currently the Lakehouse public preview schema is available. Instead of navigating to the public, once it is going to be on general availability, I can showcase you maybe later part. I'm creating the Lakehouse with LHMSR. So as I mentioned, I'm going to extract the data tables from to build a semantic model, one from shortcut, another tables I'm going to fetch it via data flow gen 2, and even I'm going to showcase you via data pipeline also. So first let's try to extract, as I mentioned in my first second slide, you can see here a shortcut to the warehouse by using a fact table. So instead of re-extracting the same source system, I'm going to utilize the existing file by using here. Once the Lakehouse Explorer on the left hand side is created, tables with files. Files is nothing but maybe if my data is in a structure, semi-structured or unstructured file format. On major source systems, I'm going to extract it via files. On tables, which is completely organized information. So I'm going to extract it via from the tables too. Fine. Let's try to extract the data via first, as I said, new shortcut. Click on this. You can see here, as I mentioned on the new shortcut part, is to quickly extract the data from any external source systems to your Lakehouse. You can see here that is supported with Amazon S3 buckets, Azure ADLS Gen 2, Dataverse, and GCS. And what I will do in the sense, the first table I'm going to pick it via, which is an existing warehouse, data warehouse I have created. I'm going to import it via internal source systems now. Import Microsoft OneLake source system. So as I said, the warehouse, right? Let's try to check it here, or else you can try to filter. Filter also fine. The file is available here, DWH demo. You can see here, whenever you can start creating the new shortcut, left hand side from the OneLake, left hand side on the OneLake, you can see the standards like a DWH demo with table information. There are multiple tables that are available in this DWH demos warehouse. Let's try to showcase to you that. See here, these many tables are there, but I'm very much interested to build this project based on fact order lines. This is my fact table, which I'm going to extract it now. Click on this, select it. So maybe if you want to, drag down more details, you can see the details of your folder, like what are the data, how the data will be get stored. It will be get stored in the delta logs, delta formats, and we can also see the detailed information of log files and so on. So let's try to pull this fact order lines. So whenever the shortcut has been get created, from where to where you are moving, you can see the source destination. So DWH demo, the file is available, and I'm trying to move this fact order lines table to my currently created lake house. So how we are going to do it? So see here, it's just as simple as easy. Still, if you want to do some edit activities or else you want to check, cross verify, you can rename it on the top. I just want to create it as is, create, create it. It's completely structured information. You can see after extracting the data from a shortcut, your table, this is your table information with a small link it on the top. So whenever if I'm trying to select this particular table, fact order lines, you can see the data in the right hand side with the preview, with preview record. So it is faster. You can see that information also it's loading. So currently I'm using the trial account, trial license. So you can feel a slight slowness here. So you can see the information on the right hand side with the number of columns and so on. Fine. This is the first table which I have extracted. And even we can try to rename it if required. If you want to rename it, we can do the rename it also. We can do the renaming as well. What I will do in the sense, instead of doing that renaming activities, I'm trying to pull few more data extractions via other source systems. As I mentioned now, I'm going to extract the data factory pipeline, which is an orders table. So here in the Lakehouse itself, the file already stored in my fact order trails in the table level. I'm going to extract the data from get data wise another file, that is orders table. So via uh, pipeline. Let's try to create a new pipeline, giving the name as pipeline name. As I said, it is almost as same as ADF, Azure Data Factory. I'm just giving the pipeline name to pick it. Orders, order table, pipeline, create it. I will take your queries at the last. And like in the meantime, please observe the session. And if you have any queries on this, please let me know so that I can help on that. Okay. See here, I just started creating the pipeline. So once you can get created the pipeline, on the left hand side, you can see the complete steps. Complete steps. I hope you're able to see my cursor. Copy data into the lake house. So what are the steps? First, we need to choose the data sources, connect to the data source. So maybe I want to get connect to an on-premises SQL server. My table is available. Example, my table, one of the table, orders table is available in one of the on-premises SQL server database. I want to get connect to it with proper credentials. And I have to choose the data destination, where to move, where to store this particular extracted or connected table. I have to choose the destination, and I have to check the mapping, the number of columns and so on. Like what are the number of columns, what are the data types. I have to cross verify after connecting to my data destination. Finally, from where to where the file is moving. So we can see this information on the review plus save. So let's try to extract the data from SQL Server database. As I said, I'm going to extract the data from an on-premises SQL server. So let me give the credentials, server details. I'm not providing the database name, so I'm using the basic authentication method with some. So whenever if you are using on-premises SQL Server, using the connection to extract the data, we need a proper gateway, standard gateway, which is going to be an online, and to securely transfer your data from your on-premises source system to the cloud. So if there is no gateway, we cannot extract this information to the cloud environment. Okay. So I'm currently using extracting the data from on-premises source system to my cloud-based environment into the Lakehouse. So click on next. So it will take some time for the loading of your all the databases. I haven't provided the database name too. Multiple databases are there as per practice and project related. See here, let me extract it from sales data importers, which I'm trying to fetch the data table from this database. Select next. So now you can observe from this particular sales data importers, list of tables are there. Which table you are trying to pick or else extract it. So as I said, orders table. I'm just searching here, sales order table. You can see the data preview on the same like how we extracted for the shortcut. You can see the preview data on the right hand side. So this is my table. Fine. Next step, we have to choose the destination. So we have to press the next, select the next. So here, the connection type, you can see Lakehouse MSR, I have provided the connection type, and root folder table it is. And loading settings part, do you want to load it in the existing table or as a new table? So as I mentioned, after connecting the data part, you can choose either if you want to overwrite on the existing table or you want to create it as a new table. So I want to get create it as a new table and store in my one of the lake house, which I'm started creating on the, one of the lake house name called LHMSR. And the table information is there. Even if you want to rename the table information something like So I'm adding WWA, worldwide importers underscore sales order. And below, you can see here column mapping for each and every column, the data type as well as on the destination type data type we can showcase. And even suppose by mistakenly you had deleted or something, you can also import the schema. Okay, maybe after some time I have deleted this column, I want to re-add it. In such a scenario, instead of redoing or else resetting this, we can also import the complete schema or else complete table information into your current setup, current mapping. So I'm using this approach, all the columns as is, select OK. So you can see here, as I said, in the review plus save, where to where this connections or else this particular table is moving. So connections part, connection name, you can see it, and the table which I'm fetching as in sales order table, it's moving on to one of the lake house which I have created, LHMSR. And you can see the table information is going to store as WWI underscore sales order line. I want to do the data transfer immediately, make it as a save and run. Click on the save and run. So this functionality, this particular view as same as ADF, which I have told to you. So it's going to take some time. Sales order table is going to read it, data read. Maybe if you can see here, if I'm selecting the center rectangle box, you can see the general information, what type of an activity, how we are extracted, at what time, and source part from where to where it is moving. You can see the connection type is SQL Server, and even the database I have connected sales data importers with some particular table, destination, so where it is moving. So these configurations and settings and all, you can see it once you selected this particular copy data. Fine. Say here, suppose in my data set there are some errors or exist. I want to exclude some errors. In such a scenario, here you can see this. We can have a fault tolerance to skip the number of records or else number of files also. If you are extracting bulk files, we have a fault tolerance mechanism. We can enable this functionality also if you are extracting from, I mean, like unstructured or else semi-structured source systems too. And by default the staging area is going to enable there, so that it will be get copied in the staging area and this particular file will be moved onto your destination. So currently this copy data file has been succeeded, and you can see the time duration too, time duration too, how much time it has been taken, 19 seconds. So approximately it is holding with 50,000 records. So let's try to see this table is going to available in our lake house or not, LHMSR. So let's try to refresh it, refresh. I will take your queries, refresh. You can see the table with WWI sales importers. You can see this. So this particular table I have fetched, I have extracted from one of the on-premises source system, that is SQL Server database, to my cloud application that is in Lakehouse now. Okay, fine. As I mentioned, let's try to extract few more tables via data flow extraction, that is dimension table. So see here, data flows. So first via shortcut, that is a fact table, another table via data pipelines, another three tables, three dimension tables. If you're observing three dimension tables from an Excel file also, I'm going to extract it. And before doing this activity, I'll just try to showcase to you something. I mean, like very quick extraction. I mean, before moving on to the data flow fine. What I will do in the sense, these are all remaining files. Assume that remaining files are available in a local SharePoint or else some location with XLS files and CSV files too. So remaining files, if you're observing here, cities, categories, date, some are CSV files, some are Excel files are there. What I did in the sense, I had downloaded all files into a folder. You can see the folder here. I have downloaded this folder. Some files are CSV, format type is CSV, three files, and three files are in Excel format. So I will choose the easiest way of extraction, that is CSV extraction first. What I will do in the sense, these are all files at a time we can import it instead of one by one. What I will do, see here from this files part, hope you are able to see it, files on the left hand side, files. I have an option functionality to import it, to import these files into my files location. So here you have to select the files, open it, upload. So it's in a folder, not any individual files. I'm not going to extract one by one files. I'm going to extract all files which is available locally or else in some drive. In such a scenario, I can use upload folder, click on this, extract the files, upload it, upload. You can see all the files will be get triggered and it will be get loaded onto your files location with the name wwi is the name of the folder, wwi dataset. You can see the files should be available in this files folder, internally one sub folder. Okay, so as I said, these CSV files, regular files, these CSV files, I can convert it because it's in comma separated values. I'm going to load these CSV files into my structured information, that is table. So how we are going to do that? So see here, it's as simple as easy. You have to select it individually, not all together. Load it to the table as a new table. It's not an existing table. I'm going to load customer category name. This is a CSV. Load it to a new table. So giving the same naming conventions, comma separator, load it, load it. It will take some time. As I said, in the top part, you can see Lakehouse. Currently, we are loading. These are all the table information to Lakehouse. Okay, you see here the table, which previously it was a file, and it has been loaded onto the tables part, which we will call it as a managed source system. And unmanaged source systems are files and so on. Fine. Let's try to pull few more. Date table, which is completely structured as a new table. Date. So in real time, we will do these activities whenever. If you want to build some projects, we will try to extract the sources from different places, and we will try to pull it all the information into store in one lake or else lake houses, and then we will try to proceed further on the semantic model build on the report analysis. So one more table is there, that is sales customer table. Load it as a new table. So how these tables will be get stored in the files part? As I said, I mean, if my previous discussions, if you observe, these data files will be stored in the form of like a delta Parquet format files. You can see that information too. Whenever if I'm trying to select this, you can see this files view with delta logs with delta Parquet format files. So maybe if my file size is very huge, it has to be get compressed and it will store the data in then columnar storage format. Okay, so maybe my file size is in the GBs file, and once it will be get imported and loaded into the delta Parquet conversion, it will be get converted, compressed, and it will be stored in the form of Parquet file format, and remaining all in the folder part. This is a cache information and so on, cache logs and so on. Okay, and if you're observing remaining tables, what we are going to do. So remaining tables on the Excel format, we don't have an option to load it as a table. Only for this option is available CSV only. So you can see here for CSV, we can load it as a new table, not for XLS. I mean Excel worksheets. So how we are going to proceed for these cities, province, and warehouse item. So I'm not going to load it, move it forward to the tables. I just have option to rename or else delete. So how we are going to proceed with these three tables, three Excel files, city, state, province, and warehouse item. So what I will do in the sense for these three tables, three Excel files, I'm going to extract it via Dataflow Gen 2. So how we are going to get connect? As I said, here we have an option get data, new Dataflow Gen 2. Click on this. So this is as same as an experience of Power Query Editor window. So whoever familiar with Power BI Power Query Editor, you can see the similar window here. Let me rename it instead of data flow 2, giving a proper name like dimension tables Excel format. Excel format. So how we are going to pull this information? So you can import it, those files that are available in a local folder, you can import it via Excel, or maybe if this is available in some located, some drives or else some blob storages, you can extract it via blob also. So I'm going to showcase you very simple approach. Import data from an Excel. Select it because the files are available. You can use up all files to get to. So one by one, try to import it. Excel files. See here, it's connecting to my drive. Click on next. This is the first file. This is the first file, cities. I can rename it later. This is my first file. City ID, city name, state province IDs. So create it. So you can see the similar view, whoever familiar with Power BI Query Editor, you can see the similar view on the data flow is something like online Power Query Editor. So I can do all the data transformations inside here. I can perform all the activities here. The first table, instead of calling it as a sheet 1, rename it as an WWI cities. This is the cities table. In center, you can see the data. Right hand side, data transformation types. You can see on the right hand side. And here, one more important thing, options part, I will by default, it is enabled with fast copy connector. Just try to cross verify whether it is. Whenever you can start working on these activities, just try to cross verify, allow use of fast copy connector so that the data flows as well as the extractions part, it is fast and it will be loaded onto the destination, proper destinations. So it is enabled. And one more thing, just try to cross verify what is the destination where you are going to store it. Suppose if the above, which you are observing my cursor, add data destination, if this is disabled, that means default it is connected to the destination. If it is enabled, so we have to configure the right destination where to store this particular cities table. Fine. How we are going to observe those information? So here on the other than that, you can see in the down corner right hand side, data destination is going to store on a Lakehouse. Whenever if I'm trying to on hover info button, you can see it's going to store in a workspace project pipeline into the warehouse, Lakehouse name called Lakehouse MSR. Okay. So it's going to store it here. No, I want to change the destination. In such a scenario, you can use this settings button. Just try to select it. It's a default. Maybe if the Lakehouse is not created, you can create it. Click on next, click on next, and you can choose the destination. So different multiple workspaces are there. If you can observe, you can store as per the requirement. So what I will do in the sense, instead of loading directly of this particular cities table, let's try to extract remaining two tables also. So remaining two tables are there. Let me extract these two tables in the Power Query Editor. All three, we are going to load it into the Lakehouse. So just try to duplicate this. Let me know so that I can help. One more table. Let's try to fetch. Okay, 1 second, sorry. Another table, state province. Let me extract it. The state table, giving the name as state province. One more table. Let's try to fetch it. Last one is the warehouse details, warehouse related, the stocks and so on. So I'm trying to extract the warehouse related stuff as well. Let's try to pull this. Warehouse stock details. So if you're observing on the left hand side, three tables are there: cities, state, province, warehouse stock details. So all together, I'm trying to publish into this particular data flow name called dimension table Excel format. So how we are going to do that as a showcase to you? See here, I'll just try to configure one more time to showcase this process. Click on next. So where do you want to store? Which workspace and which tenant level? So you can see here, these are all my workspaces. Here, this is my dedicated workspace for this project pipeline. And this particular project pipeline, this is my lake house, which I have been created. You can see here, these are all the new tables, which I'm trying to connect from an Excel. Is going to create it as a new tables in this location. So click on next, click on next. So still after clicking on the next, if you want to perform some more replace of your data sets, or else if you want to append the existing tables with another table like a data transformation activities, you can perform on the next stage also. Other than the Power Query editor, you can perform these activities on your, next stage before moving on to the destination stage also here. So if you can turn it off, you can see here the transformations like replace or else append transformations are visible to you. Fine. What I will do in the sense as time permits, I'll just try to save all three tables and store these tables into my dedicated lake house. Let's save it. Save it. So it's still not completed until and unless you have to publish this. So if you can try to cross verify if your lake house, these tables still here, we haven't published. So they are providing two options: publish right away, publish later. Okay. So I want to publish right now, publish now, click on publish now. You can see the data flow name is dimension table Excel files. It's going to refresh its progress. And it's this particular data flow information, these three tables will be get visible to you on this tables part. So we'll wait for some time. We'll get the notification alerts as well. On the top, we can easily identify the notifications too. Once the data flow has been created, progress, the data refresh is completed, we can see the stats here. You can see this published successfully, the first notification. Just try to refresh it. Refresh. So slowly, one by one, it's going to load into your dedicated lake house. Okay. See this warehouse. I'm just trying to cross verifying the data on the right hand side. Still, one more very good functionality has been added here. We are currently doing some R&D on this, manage one lake data access, which is something like these many data sets are available. I want to give a permission to few data sets. In such a scenario, we can make use of this one lake data access too. Like it's still a preview feature. So in the form of an hierarchy or else a table wise or else a read write or else these configurations, we can try to do it by using manage one lake data access to your model or else semantic data sets. Okay. It's a new functionality, it's a preview feature. Fine. So the tables are available, and here I want to check the SQL endpoint view as well. So how we are going to navigate it to the SQL endpoint view. So here we can try to configure. Currently it is a lake house. We have imported the tables from different data sources. I want to query with some tables which have been extracted. On the left hand side, some tables are there, approximately 8 tables. I want to write some query on the top of it. In such a scenario, you can make use of SQL Analytics endpoint too. So just try to add it, selection only, select it. So it will take some time to create the view. So it's as same as this particular SQL endpoint analytics. You can see here, automatically the schema has been get created, DBO schema, and the list of tables. List of tables. The advantage is, so you want to minimize with some number of records, less number of, I mean, instead of all the tables, all the columns. Such a scenario, we can make use of this SQL endpoint. Or else you want to prepare some ad hoc, quick analysis. In such a scenario, you can make use of this SQL endpoint. So see here, I'll just try to showcase to you here the endpoints too. Please observe. Here, if you want to write the statements, you can write it. I can see the data. Or you want to do some more data cleanup, or else you want to optimize the data set. In such a scenario, you can use new visual query. It has same as how you have prepared the query editor activities, Power Query editor activities. Like example, you have to drag and drop example the fact order lines table. You can see a simple pipeline, the source, the table information, and so on. And here also you can perform some data transformation activities. Like example, I can just try to showcase you some transformations here. See this? These are all the data transformation which you previously observed in your data flow creation. So on the top of it, you can do the transformations, we can save it, and we can also do the data visualizations by using this current or else selected data set too. Okay. So you can save this file, I mean, with a restricted number of columns, and we can try to utilize those particular table in your data visualizations too. So I'll just try to showcase you something like uh, choosing the columns, like example. I'll just try to choose these two. So it's a transformation, right? So you can see the transformation choosing the columns. And on the top of it, I want to do some group by based on order lines. Order lines, group by. I'm searching here, item, order lines, select OK. So that for each and every order, how many order lines that are available, I want to observe this analysis. So you can see here, order ID based items. So with this particular table, I want to save it in my visual part. I can save it as a table, or I want to visualize it as a kind of a quick ad hoc report building. I can also do the data visualization by just selecting this visual result. So it will be get to open the visualization just like a Power BI. Okay, as a preview, you can see it, and we can do the further analysis and visual on the top of it. So I'm not going on this direction. What I will do in the sense, I just want to showcase to you how we are going to prepare a data model. So see here, recent addition of functionality part. You can prepare the data modeling activities on this model layout by selecting the layout. You can see the all the table information. You can bring the connectivity from one table to the another table. So along with the previously executed historical queries, and also frequently used log files are also stored. You can see this, these are all like execution of historical tables. You can see it along with my created or else extracted tables too. Okay, what I have used the regular queries, what I have used as some frequent queries, regularly used frequently run queries also. This particular table information also will be get stored as in the form of a data set. You can see it here, model layout. Okay, but I'm very much interested only on these tables, the extracted or else connected tables, not with all log queries or else long running queries or else frequently used queries. Such a scenario, please observe, this is important and recently added function. Click on this report. You want to bring it as a semantic model, new semantic model. Click on this, select it, giving the name as sales semantic model, giving the name of the semantic model as sales semantic model. Here, these are the tables, list of tables. You can select it all together. Just try to observe it. These are all the tables. Confirm. So from the reporting part, we have an option to create a semantic model dedicatedly for these or else extracted tables. So if you can select normal semantic model, which is available anywhere, SQL endpoint, you can see along with extracted, the long running and cacheed files. Cacheed tables also will be get created. Suppose if you can create a new semantic model, you can see the semantic model as just like your Power BI desktop model view. Okay, this is the model view. So you can see all the tables here. Okay, so I'll just try to give the some connections instead of all. So as I said, the data on this modeling part or as a Power BI level, the data will be get stored in the mode of direct query. You can see it. So what is the meaning of direct query in the sense? It's going to store the real-time data and it is very faster on the execution part, refreshing part. Compared to the DirectLake, direct query and import methods. Import method is just a copy of your information. We can see some fasterness as well, but it's a copy of information is going to resides. And direct query is something like we have some limitations too. And the direct query is real time faster as well as we can see the execution part. It is execution in the sense refreshing part. It is faster. Okay. So let me give some quick connections as per the connected tables. See here, just trying to adjust. So we can build the data modeling activities too here quickly. Sales. We don't have an option something like manage relationships. We have to use manually drag and drop functionality currently. Maybe in the future, we are expecting something like manage relationship functionality also in the services. So I'm just trying to bring some connections here between one table to the another table. So here, whenever you can start building the cardinality, currently the data preview is not available because I'm doing quick action. The cardinalities as like Power BI desktop, all four cardinalities are supported. And the cross filter also, it's supported on single and both directions. Okay, both of it. Previously, few months back, we have an option to configure only three configurations, that is many to one, one to one, one to many. We don't have duplicate information, many to many functionality. This has been recently added from Microsoft. Let me check it very quick. Let me give the connections of some other two. State. In the meantime, if you have any queries, please post it. I can go through this. Okay. I'm just creating some model quickly. If you have any queries, please post in the chat so that I can go through. And also here we can create the data modeling. You can see here managed relationship is enabled, and also we can edit the table information too. So this has been previously few days back. I'm not able to see this managed relationship, this particular tab. This has been added. So I mean, all the functionalities which you are observing on the Power BI desktop level that has been incorporated in the services too. So we can do all the activities, connections, even the new column creation. We can do it in the Power Query SQL editor endpoint, and also we can load the information. We can cross verify the each and every subtables too, which have been loaded. So giving the connections this. Fine. Let's navigate to the reporting part. Few connections I have added. It's fine to me. So how we are going to navigate it to the report? Here we can select the new reporting or maybe from the Lakehouse also we can see the reporting functionality. From the Lakehouse we can configure it to the reporting. So here where it is, please observe SQL endpoint. Here reporting, you can also create the new reporting from here. So two ways Directly you can create the report, or after cross verifying the semantic model we can create the report. Let me showcase to you the reporting part quickly. See this, click on the new report with these tables, connected tables, continue. So the semantic model which I have created with some of the tables connections, that is also going to store on your current workspace project pipeline. So I'll just try to quickly bring some insights like quantity, card, unit price. Okay, quantity, and this is not have a connection there. That's why we are getting the same values. Or let me check this. Okay, fine. Just try to bring the description. Okay, description. So we can save this as is like this. We can save this report, which is going to store on this particular workspace. Sales report development, save it. And if you can observe in your workspace, right, project pipeline, all the activities which you have done, you have created the pipelines, you have created the workspace, I mean, like lake houses, and even you have created the data pipelines, workflow managers, and also report and your semantic model. So if you want to give some access to the semantic model, we are aware of it, we can select it, we can give the semantic model access to the customers as well. So in this way, you can extract the data as a showcase to you, as I showcased to you the different ways to extractions. Like a shortcut, we can extract it instead of duplicating the data information from one to another, lake houses or warehouses. Another approach is I have showcased you data pipelines via SQL Server extraction. I have showcased you on-premises data to the cloud-based environment, and normal regular extractions like a flat files like CSV file format. I have extracted and loaded into the lakehouse. Once the lakehouse is been ready, and then we can navigate to the SQL endpoint where we can start writing the queries also for minimizing the number of columns, and save it as a new table and store it on the visualization prospect. And from there, we can prepare a new semantic model where we can build the relationships with one to another tables with, I mean, all the types of connecting connections, cardinality. We can project the data visualizations on the top of it. Fine. I'm done. I have 2 minutes, and I'm going to. I'm ready to take your queries too. Hope you like it. And if you have any queries, please let me know. Thanks to the Microsoft Reactor team for giving this opportunity, Rashmita, and as well as Parth. Thank you. Let me go to the queries. Which
Sure.
option will, last Hari Prashant, which option will help schedule and sync real time with Azure? So basically, mapping the real time analysis, we can make use of the real time intelligence, is there, that particular functionality. We can make use of it. What about the another questions? How about Fabric data warehouse? When to use? Suppose if your requirement is you want to build a new warehouse setup, in such a scenario, just try this one. Okay, Microsoft Fabric warehouse. So all the functionalities like extractions, part data extraction, storing in information. So main agenda here, it will avoid the duplicacy of the data, and also we can try to pick the right tables at right time, and we can visualize it onto the Power BI, whatever I just showcased to you, how easy it is to visualize it on the modeling part, semantic model preparation, and data visualization. Any other questions? Difference between Microsoft. So previously, Microsoft Fabric is completely different, Amit, which has been, as I said, recently launched. In Microsoft Fabric only, analytics, Azure Synapse Analytics, like data warehouse, ADF factories, these are all has been incorporated. Okay, which you can see all the information at one place. That is Microsoft Fabric only we are calling. So still there are more lot of enhancements they are doing Microsoft team. So we can see lot of new functionalities and features in the services like Microsoft Fabric, which we are observing. Fine. I hope I have answered to you. Yes. Any questions? Thank you, Rashmita. Thanks for
There
giving
is
this.
one question, Rajendra. When to choose
Yes.
Power BI desktop?
Desktop, see here, all the activities if you are doing on the cloud-based environment. So then why again back to the desktop, which is a static? So still some features are there which is not incorporated in the services level. So we need to make use of desktop. In which scenarios means maybe I want to use the semantic model, existing semantic model, which I have prepared. In such a scenario, you can make use of desktop. You can use extraction from get data. Power BI semantic model option is there. You can do all semantic model activities and services. You can use it in the form of a live connection so that it is better as per the performance prospect, and we can see the lot of fasterness on the execution part, and as well as refreshing runtime also will be get reduced. Yeah.
Then there is another question from Amit.
I just answered Microsoft Fabric and the difference,
Okay.
right? Azure Synapse Analytics.
Okay. So there are questions coming in. Just
Hmm.
let me know if you have answered for all of
Okay.
them. Then we
Okay.
can just,
Sure.
proceed. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Hope any other questions? I'm just starting from onwards. I'm checking. How about Fabric Data Warehouse? This one also. And is there anything to note when implementation of? So see here, Arvind, anything to note when implementing data flows? Advantages is everything you are going to do it on the cloud environment only. So it's a option of you can do the changes and the restriction data accessing part. We can see the lot of uh, resharing activities, or else maybe if you are trying to build the data flows, we can see the access. Once you provide an access and taken over, then only we can try to view your data flows. So that is main advantage because we are doing all the things in the cloud environment. So all the functionalities which we are doing in the Power Query Editor in Power BI Desktop has been implemented and available in your data flows. So that is the main advantage which I feel, which I'm currently working on also. Clear? Any other questions?
Not sure. There's another one.
Hmm,
Okay. From Sanjay.
one second. With Andrew also responded, so it's good. Fine, fine.
In fact, there are a lot
Rashmi,
of questions coming in. So,
mm,
folks, I would request you, because of the time limit that we have right now, so I have already shared Rajendra's LinkedIn URL. So, yes, please feel free to reach out to him on LinkedIn and you can connect with him. And if you have any question, please feel free to, ask and connect. And yes, of course, the session would be uploaded to our Reactor YouTube channel right after we end the stream. So, in case if you would like to, rewatch or watch again, please feel free to do so. So, with this, thank you, Rajendra, for hosting this session, and thank you all for joining us today. Please visit
thank
Microsoft
you.
Reactor website for more upcoming sessions, and also we would appreciate your feedback on today's session as it will help us to curate future sessions. Please scan the QR code and do share your feedback with the event ID 24271. Feel free to use the Learn module link. This will give you access to additional resources to take your learning further. Thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining.